the branding is right on point. It explains that this is really now a cross-country type of technology offering that's driven by technology, but ultimately by what the people need. And so that was one of the ideas behind this panel, is to talk a little bit about what's happening in the mobile space. And I think we have a great group here which is going to talk about all the diverse type of mobile wallet and what's being done in different parts of the world to promote them. So I will ask my eminent panelists here to introduce themselves and talk a little bit about their business. So Gisela, please.
Thank you, Nabil. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Gisela. I work at Bandrav. Right now, I am the product owner of YOLO. It's our digital wallet. And in Guatemala, we're the first bank that has a 100% onboarding system that works perfectly from beginning to end. We even changed our regulations so people can just do an onboarding with their ID and don't need any other document to access a bank account. I have a background in advertising, marketing, and technology, so it's very mixed. Now I'm in banking, and I really love it. Well, that's what we do right now. That's me.
Thank you. Fidel?
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for waking up so early. I appreciate that. So my name is Fidel Suarez. I'm the CEO from company Boss. We are a software development factory. We develop for mobile apps and for money transmitters, from generation from the transfer to the payment of the transfer. And basically, I will say, be ready. As everybody knows, I will say that as much as crypto, mobiles, and API connections is so important. So here we are ready to talk about it. Thank you very much.
And Piero, please.
Good morning. My name is Piero Cohen. I am the CEO and co-founder of Osmo. Osmo is the first crypto exchange in Central America. I have a background in startups and tech.
Great, thank you. So as we got together and started talking about this, and from a prior panel, I think yesterday, the days are blurring a little bit, but I believe it was yesterday, we had Philip from TerraPay talking about, there are rails that connect to a lot of wallets around the world, 90 countries. A fact struck me that was pretty impressive is, he said, so they connect to bank rails, so you could send money transfers to bank accounts, and they connect to mobile wallets, so you can send money transfers to mobile wallets. And the thing I did not expect is he said 80% of their transaction volume now is going to mobile wallets, 20% to the bank, which I would have expected it was going to be more like the other way around. Now, what was interesting is he said in terms of amounts, the majority still goes to the bank accounts, like 60-40, because I guess bank accounts carry interest rate, they carry higher balances, and so on. So you have larger transactions going to banks, but in terms of day-to-day transactions, the majority now is going to mobile wallets. So it gives you an idea of the adoption rate that's happening all around the world with mobile wallets, and the convenience, I guess, they provide. That's why people are demanding them. So with that in mind, I mean, Gisela, you guys are launching YOLO. You only live once. You got to tell me what that means, actually. But tell us a little more about what you guys are doing, what it offers that is differentiated, and how are you going about marketing it to customers? Because that's your background. And to me, I found that's really hard, getting customers' adoption.
Well, first of all, YOLO, it's you only live once, but also in Guatemala, it's in Spanish, it's marketing campaigns surrounding like YOLO tengo, YOLO uso. So it's a mobile wallet made first for younger people. We have our main target group, it's people from 18 to 35-year-old people in Guatemala. And how are we going to monetize this? Through data. I mean, every day, data is more worthy. And also, since we're a bank, we can do a lot of add-ons on our wallet. We can do remittances, we can add loans, we can add a lot of products inside our wallet. So it's easier for us as a bank to monetize it as maybe it is for another company that's just like a pasarela de pago, So.
Got it, thank you. And so Fidel, you basically build and provide wallets financial operators. You know, how many customers do you have? What kind of demand are you seeing? And anything you've learned from your customers about how they're going, why they're adopting wallets and what they're doing with them and what kind of traction they're seeing?
Thanks. Well, that is so important. Let me tell you, I hear a phrase here in one of the conferences, when somebody says, I'm waiting to move it into the wallet, but somebody says, if you wait too much, you're going to get there late. So the time is now. I will ask, just to be sure everybody's wake up, please raise your hand who is using a wallet, a mobile wallet. So it's almost everybody. Well, in this group, but what happened in the other countries? What happened in Guatemala? What happened in Mexico? They are probably is a less people who is using mobile wallets there, but they are moving there. And if they receive money transfer from USA to a wallet, it's going to happen. And I think the moment is now. Start increasing, investing in developing, adopting the mobile wallets, because we're going to move. We are already there here in USA, but in that country, South America, it's happening right now. So basically, I will say we are a company who develop mobile wallets, money transfer applications. We are ready to help you in that transfer to digitalize the way this business is working. So basically, I will say, again, wallets, crypto, as well as if your business doesn't have an API, just to be ready to be connected with somebody else, because that's the language. Probably, if you don't have an API ready to start working with somebody else, you're not going to be ready, because all the mobiles, wallets, the better mobile wallet is going to be that one that have so many tools inside, so many links to other applications that allows you to. You're not going to have so many wallets in your mobile. You're going to have probably only one. And that is going to be the one that has more connections. So the fight is coming. So I will tell you that we can help you to be there. And it's amazing what the new world that is coming very soon.
Well, so Piero, you have a different kind of wallet, a crypto wallet. So tell us a little more about that and how you're going about, kind of creating it and marketing. You're still in the early stages, right? And what kind of acceptance you're seeing in the market. I mean, I know I'm a Coinbase customer, so in the US it's very common. Everybody wants a piece of Bitcoin and some Ether and maybe some Dogecoin. And so tell us a little more, because that's a fascinating area.
Sure. I need to make a quick interruption. Excuse me to the group in the back. I don't want to interrupt your conversation. Hugo? I don't want to interrupt your conversation, but I feel your whispers in my ear. So I have a hard time listening to what they're saying up here. I'm really sorry, but
that's basically our emotional and
enthusiasm. I see. So, excuse me. In terms of adoption or acceptance, I see that the exponential growth of interest in crypto has been growing very quickly. I think everything happens gradually and then suddenly in terms of things that grow exponentially, right? So I see that in Central America there's a lot of hunger, mainly in the space of young people, 18 to 40, and people that are already banked, that want to, that are looking for avenues of investing or investment avenues, and they just simply don't have it. And sadly today in Central America, there is no easy way to buy crypto. It really is archaic the way it works today. You need to know somebody that has crypto, that is willing to sell it to you, so a friend of yours, and willing to either take a wire transfer or take cash as a form of payment. There's a lot of WhatsApp and Telegram groups where people do peer-to-peer transfers, but there is no Coinbase, there is no easy way for you to access this new technology, and we're still talking about crypto as a new technology, but it's not that new anymore. It's been around for almost 15 years. So I think I still find it baffling that there is no easy way globally for us to access this. But obviously, again, it's exponential, so we're only going to see it more and more, not less. So in terms of adoption, going back to your question, I do see a lot of hunger and people really want to access these tools.
So I do have a couple of follow-ons for you then. How are you going about marketing it to get people aware and adopting? And then how are you signing them up, and what kind of is the regulatory aspect around how this wallet is set up? And two, well, that's like three questions. That's one, A, B, and C. And then two, really, do you kind of foresee, or are you seeing demand for people to start doing remittances using crypto as a currency instead of, sending dollars and converting them, for example?
So I'll start answering your second question. I don't think that we are there yet. People sending remittances are usually people that are being paid in cash in the United States and send cash to an unbanked individual that receives cash. And I don't see, President Bukele can say a lot about this, but I don't necessarily agree that people are using more Bitcoin to send remittances. Maybe they are in Nigeria. Nigeria is a whole other ballgame that I don't think is comparable to Central America, maybe in some aspects, but not in this one. So I don't see that right now remittances are being affected by crypto. In any case, banks might be affected by crypto because people that are banked, that have access to buy through Coinbase with a bank account, crypto, are now, instead of sending a wire transfer that costs $45 to send, might be now sending crypto. But in terms of remittances, I don't see a competition there yet. So that's question two. And then question one, in terms of regulation, I'll start with 1C, which was regulation. There is no regulation right now in any Central American country except El Salvador. And El Salvador is not really crypto friendly. El Salvador is Bitcoin friendly. If you talk about Ethereum or any other crypto in El Salvador, they really shut the doors. And when it comes to regulation in the rest of the countries, there is no regulation for it. So right now, it's been relatively straightforward for us to speak with the regulator, educate the regulator, and tell them what we are doing and what we're going to keep doing. And we have been able to create a good relationship with most regulators in the region, so much so that they've asked help from us to help them draft bills for regulation. So I am pro-regulation. I think that regulation, as we spoke yesterday with Hugo in one of the panels, gives you a good guidelines of what you can do and what you can't do. And right now, I think it's our responsibility to lead by example. So the way we're going to self-regulate is that we're going to be doing the same KYC and same compliance that remittance companies use. Because in that sense, I don't think it's any different that somebody chooses to send Bitcoin over the Bitcoin rails versus somebody choosing to send cash over Western Union rails. I think it should be treated in a very similar way if you're cashing in. Now, if you're cashing in through a link to your bank account, then all the KYC was already done through your bank. So it shouldn't be any different from wire transferring $1,000 through wire or sending $1,000 worth of Bitcoin to someone else. And honestly, I can't recall questions 1A and B, but I think I hope I gave you a couple good answers on there.
I don't recall them either, but I'm happy with the answer then. Okay, so I mean, in essence, there's multiple types of wallets then, right? So there are wallets that are just wallets, right? They're backed by a card, and you hold a balance, and you can buy and sell stuff or transact, like PayPal used to be. Actually, you didn't hold the balance. You used to hold the balance in PayPal. Now they're just starting to advertise it as a feature, but it was there always. Then you have wallets that are actually your front end of your bank, which that's a very interesting concept because banks have had mobile interfaces for a while, and I've used them for probably over 8-10 years, and they sucked, right? And I think companies, you know, like YOLO, I mean, when I hear you talking and I see what you're doing, you're taking more a fintech than a bank approach to it. It's how do I make the UI charming? How do I make it exciting for the customer and so on? So it's a different kind of customer experience. And Piero, you mentioned that a little earlier about Revolut, is the UI is extremely important. The information you provide is extremely important. So I do want to ask you in a second about how you're doing this. And then, so you get the pure wallet, the bank wallet, and the crypto wallet. All right, and Fidel talked a little earlier about the multi-functionality of the wallets, because nobody wants to have 20 wallets in their phone. I do, for example. There's a Coinbase wallet, there's a PayPal, there's a Venmo, there's a bank, there's another, ours, obviously, VBN. We have another test one. I mean, it's getting crazy. And you look at WeChat in China, and they created the concept of super app where everything is gone through one wallet. I want to talk about this trend in a minute, but tell us more about how you're looking at not being the bank wallet, but actually a consumer-friendly wallet in a sense, and how you're thinking about features and how you present things to consumers.
Well, the UX and UI is the main and most important thing in YOLO. Yeah, we are a bank, and as you say, we're taking like a more fintech approach to YOLO, because I think that as a millennial, and also our customers are more centennial, millennials, we just want easy looking things. We don't want the noise. We want to open our app, understand it, have everything there. We don't want to go to a bank. We don't have time to go to a bank because we're always, working. So we can pay rent. No. So, but we don't want the noise. We want to have our own app, do it fast, and have it like clean up front. And I forgot my line of thought right now. But yeah, I just want one app where I can do anything and everything, and that's it. And if we have the backing of a bank, it's even better, because it's safer, and also having a wallet, a mobile wallet, is even safer than having your credit card, your debit card, cash. It's 100 times safer. Your information is encrypted. The chances of getting your cell phone stolen are high in our country, but sorry, but you have passwords, you have face IDs, so it's more secure inside your cell phone than on your pocket.
No, that's true. I mean, we've had one of our kids got his phone stolen, but they couldn't use it for anything. There was and it happens here too. You can't unlock the phone. It was an iPhone, and we nuked the phone at distance, and nobody could access the wallet or do anything. So that's a good point. But so UI is key there, and so Fidel, you're building them, right, as a profession, wallet as a service, right? And so first, how do you think about UI, and what are your customers asking you in terms of look and features? And then a concern I would have, and by the way, full disclosure, we've built our own wallet, and I'm happy to talk to Fidel about what he's built, because if his wallet is better than ours, guess what? Ours is going out the window, and we're going to go with him. But the idea is you want to get the best tech and the best UI that you can get. And a concern for me, and I think for a lot of people in this room, would be, how do I control the roadmap and the timing? So if I build my own, it's not a question of owning the technology, because there's a lot of wallets out there, but it's a question of owning my destiny. If I want the screen to be pink on a Monday and blue on a Tuesday, and tomorrow I want to add a crypto function that connects to what you're building, Piero, and I want that done by beginning of February, how do I get reassured that I'm going to be able to control my destiny a little bit and not be a hostage of, we're too busy, we don't have time for you, another customer asked for this, and just not be able to manage my business? So there were two questions there.
That is point A. All right, before that, let me tell you, I think that very in the near future, when one of our Mexican other guy who comes to send money to any of those stores, like the ones that you have, the guy in the stores is going to ask, which mobile do you want to make a transfer? They're not going to say Soriana, Electra, or whatever. They're going to say, which mobile? And probably once they transfer to a that mobile has the ability, the person who receives the money has the ability to go all these kind of stores. Probably they could go to Soriana or Electra or whatever. So probably there's going to be a new network that is going to arise. But the decision is not going to be taken here in the USA, that where do I'm sending the money. Probably the decision is going to be taken in all those countries where the person decides, well, right now I'm very close to this store, then I'll go and take out the cash in that store. And then a new network probably will arise. So that is what I can see, all this mobile impact is going to be huge, or it's happening. So once again, be ready for that. Going back there, if the wallet allow us and tell us where you have spent your money, and actually, and as we said minutes ago, and if can keep track with the receipts, it's going to be great. That's like another big idea. And once again, the better wallet arise or we have, then the successful of each of the company will be there. So once again, try to be there. Be sure that your business has an API. The next question that's going to happen in the near future is going to be, okay, I have a wallet. I have a wallet. Do you have an API? Because I would like to have a business with you. But the API will be the connections that I suggest everybody try to be sure that do business. If you don't have, we can help you to build an API to be for the connections.
So, Piero, you were very eloquent a little earlier about the user experience also, right? And you made a point on why. So you reminded me, I think it was 10 years ago or so, if you're an American Express Platinum customer, at the end of the year, they will send you like this nice booklet that showed where you spend the money, 35% on dining, 25% on travel, et cetera, and that was like, wow, this is such good information, but once a year by mail. You talked about the Revolut approach. You talked about data. So how do you think about the UI and the information you provide customer to make it attractive? Because like I look at some of the famous ones here in the US. You look at Chime or so on. It looks like a game. It looks like a very simple, clean screen. I can see the essential information. So how are you guys thinking about UI and information?
Yeah. I think that's incredibly important. I cannot emphasize enough how important UX and UI is. You need to make it incredibly easy and intuitive. And there is a reason that Apple phones, they didn't exist prior to 2007, and now they're the leading smartphone in the world, right? You don't need to take a course on how to use an iPhone. Take it out of the box, turn it on, and it's almost like it's self-explanatory how to use it because it's just so simple. And I think that's something that wallets and mobile banks and mobile banking have to replicate more because honestly, I can't express how frustrating it is, especially in our region, with most legacy banks in terms of like how I interact with them, right? And, answering your question of what we're doing, I think one of the things we're doing well is focusing on UX and UI and asking our customers what they want and what they don't want. Doing A/B testing on what works and what doesn't work. Because sometimes you have an idea that this might work, and then once you release it to different testers, you realize, oh, well, this didn't work the way we thought it was going to. And going back to the other point you mentioned on the amount of information that you display, I think that is key. I guess American Express were pioneers showing you in a little printed book how you were spending your money, and something we might be familiar here with is Spotify. At the end of the year, Spotify tells you the whole information of what they do it once a year, and they show you listen to this song 7,229 times. These were the genres that you most listened to, right? And that goes a little bit to what Gisela was saying on all the data that now you can use and you can monetize, etc. But I think that it has to be shown to the client more than just once a year, like Spotify does with the music and like American Express did with the books. I think that now a huge value differentiator is showing people how you're spending your money. We all want to keep our money or save money or invest money or be more financially savvy, and we can't do that if we don't know where we're spending our money. For you to make a change, you first need to know where you're standing. And the best way to know where you're standing is through seamless user interface that shows you how you're spending your money. And I worked at a neobank when I lived in London. And one of the projects my company had was with Monzo. And Monzo is it's a Revolut competitor. And Monzo shows you something similar to Spotify. It shows you, well, this month you've spent 70% of your budget in entertainment or in bars. And I think that's incredibly important, not only to show it to the client, but sometimes to remind him that if you put a budget, hey, you're running over your budget in the entertainment section, right? Because now we have technology that can help us and guide us so that we can be more financially savvy.
Yeah, that's incredibly important. So personal experience, I've been using the Chase app for, I don't know, 8 years, and they keep doing updates to it, but I transfer money a lot to pay vendors, to do other things, and I can never find the place where to send the money. They have drop-down menu, and then you have to choose the account, and then they have wire money, and then they have transfer money, which are two options, and the wire money only works from account to account, or if you want to do a wire transfer, but if you want to use Zelle or something else as another menu option, I mean, you look at this UI, and every time I do it wrong the first time, and then I have to find the way to do it. It is incredibly frustrating. I mean, if somebody came and showed me a better way to do it, I will switch banks like this. But Bank of America is not any better. Yeah. So that's exactly a great point. So I think there's two takeaways from what you said, really. Is one, everybody will tell you that machines or AI soon will know more about you than you know about yourself. So I bet you when you open Spotify and you look, you're surprised at how many times you've listened to different songs or different genres. I didn't realize that about myself. And that's becoming extremely important with education of millennial and Gen Z on how to manage their financial life. They should teach you that in school. They don't. And one of the things, so we're doing two things with VBN. One of them is using machine learning to tell you more about yourself. So for example, if you have $1,500 every 2 weeks is your paycheck, or $1,000 every 2 weeks, you're on a tight budget, it will tell you things like, look, you have spent $500 this month on Starbucks. Do you believe, if you were to go to Dunkin' Donuts or just make your own coffee, you would have $20,000 in 15 years that you could use for something. Or you could invest it, had you invested this in Tesla stock 3 years ago, you would now have $100,000 in your bank account, right? So you can use that data to feed back financial literacy information for people to have a better, healthier financial life, which reduces stress and improves their outcome and their potential to become successful and wealthy. And the other part is customization. So that's, again, one of the things that I get frustrated with Chase and the other banks is it's the same interface no matter who you are. So one of the things which is going to be important for remittance business is if every time you open your wallet, you open it to send money to Mexico or Guatemala or somewhere, then why the hell am I going to hide this menu option 3 options down into the app? It should be the first button I see next to my balance when I go there. So what are the top 3 things that you use? And your screen would look different than your screen, that would look different than your screen, but the stuff that you use most. And you could do it today even through just customizations that says, what do you like to do most? And then you organize that menu. But over time, you can learn from the habits and create these things. So having a simple, beautiful, useful, and personalized experience, and being able, I think, to gather the data to give better information to the user is frankly light years ahead of what banks are doing today. Not you banks, you American banks. You're doing the wallet thing correctly. I like, just from the name, I can
also
tell.
our bank app, it's very, what you're talking about. what's the term that you used?
Machine learning,
No.
customization, personalization.
Yeah, personalization, yeah. Because every people needs, have different needs. So your needs are not gonna be mine, because maybe you like to save money and I like to spend it, and, you know, so, yeah, we're doing that. We're not a regular bank. We're a cool
I knew
bank.
it. We're cool. Cool bank. That's what people want, cool, right? And that's why there's, I mean, if you just take the neobanks in the US, and I'm not counting the PayPal users and the mobile apps, but just neobanks, which are basically digital banks with an app, and not considered like the Chase and Bank of America app, there's already about 35, 40 million customers that are customers of these banks in the US. So they have taken a massive chunk of business from traditional banks, and because of the banks have the app, it's just not friendly, and that's why these guys are winning in the marketplace, because they think like a fintech, they make it modern, they make it cool, they make it simple, and people don't talk about that a lot, but there's about 100 million bank customers in the US, right? So that's probably 30% market share in the last 5 years has moved to these neobanks. What they're not seeing yet is people are maintaining their traditional bank account and opening a new bank account. Unless you are a younger generation, like my daughter, our kids, they, you know, or actually you guys who are young, that are only on a neobank. But I think over time what's going to happen, because they don't do big amounts and savings and so on, but over time as they offer more products, that shift is going to be final. They're going to close their Chase account, they close Bank of America account, and stick with their preferred provider. And this wave is coming. I like what you said about it starts slowly and then it exponentially peaks. That wave is coming in the next 2-3 years. It's going to be very, very interesting on how things progress. So I know we're a little over time, but are there any questions from the audience that you'd like us to answer? Is anybody awake? Okay. Any last words on your part you want to highlight? All good? All right. Well, thank you very much. Hope this was helpful. You know, come and see us during the day if you're sticking around, and, you know, we can talk more wallets and remittance. Thank you.